Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again, hosted by Douglas Viviani, yours truly. I'm here with my co-host David Cohen and our producer Chris Solger. We're discussing the format of our show and what it's all about. In essence, the way it's going to work, technically speaking, is we'll start with an introduction of a topic at hand and have a short history of the topic, discuss maybe the inception of that particular theme until present. Then we'll flesh out the topic with some real examples, some audio quotes, just to jog the memory so that people listening can travel back in time with us. And we'll pick the topic open in a round table discussion thereafter, and maybe, just maybe, we'll come to some conclusion. If not, we're going to have started the arguments that you're going to love to have at home. Yeah. And that's what we're here for.
Them. Yeah. I don't think there's any definitive answer to... just sitting here and talking while we were away, we were talking about the vivid memories we have specifically of TV shows. And I can tell you on Saturday night what that lineup was, and I have memories of sitting around with my family and watching All in the Family moved to Saturday nights or moved away from Saturday nights late. Here we go with the minutia that is kind of dangerous. But Saturday night there was Mary Tyler Moore and
Rhoda,
and then the Carol Burnett show, Bob Newhart. That was the lineup, and you look forward to it. And
you didn't change the channel, by the way. There was no changing your channels. There's no DVR.
Too far to walk to change the channel.
That's right. There was no remote control.
You had to turn a little knob on the TV, and who wanted to do that? and so you were forced to watch the commercials as well. And those commercials, I can recite commercials from years ago that
you got to give David a party. He's a lot of fun. He'll sit in the corner and
I'll put you to sleep in under 10 seconds easily.
No, but you're right, because the commercials become part of the show. Right. You remember all those commercials, and we'll have a show just about commercials from the 60s, 70s, 80s until present. So that'll be a lot of fun. Along those lines, the way we're going to think about this is to try to get our memories going with a couple of clips here and there. But also, Chris was talking about something else, about how today's world, you don't sit at the television for the Sunday night mystery movie watching Columbo as we used to do, as the whole family sitting around watching that one program. It's more appointment television. What were you thinking about that?
I can just vividly remember just getting in front of the TV set with the whole family, laying on the family room floor at 7 o'clock on Sunday night watching Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, followed by The World of Disney. Tuesday nights would be Happy Days, followed by Laverne and Shirley. Friday would be Brady Bunch from 8 to 8:30, and 8:30 to 9 was the Partridge Family following. I mean, just clear, great memory. Little House on the Prairie, Thursday nights, I think. But you'd have to, run to the TV. How did we live without a DVR? I don't know, but somehow we're here today. But a lot of great memories. You just had to be there at that time.
I can distinctly remember on a Sunday night, I don't know if you remember this, the Sunday night NBC mystery movie was either Columbo or McCloud or Banachek, which I never watched. I never went for that one.
Right.
Or later replaced by Quincy, if you remember that. Yes. But, it was, wow, Columbo's tonight. I can't wait to watch. And you'd actually, believe it or not, you get mom and dad and the family to sit down and watch and enjoy it. And during the commercials, you'd visit and talk about who do you think is the killer or whatnot. And I'll tell you what, if it was my house, you'd have my dad talking about the show during the show, which would start some.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. Even though Columbo, for example, would show you who was the killer from the beginning, he would still try to convince you.
Still be mystified, right?
Yeah, he didn't know who it was.
But these days, I mean, what is it that is appointment based that does bring families together? It's not even dinner so much anymore, right? It was dinner, everybody so TV, I think, acted as that appointment time, whether it was 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, what have you. And I think that's certainly lost these days.
Well, it's also something that it's not brand new with television. How many stories did our grandparents tell us about sitting around listening to, I don't know, Abbott Costello or The Lone Ranger on the radio at night? And that was something that they enjoyed together. Right. It wasn't like, for some reason in this world, I get this impression that you tell someone you're watching TV or a movie, going to the movie with your family, by the way, was great too, that's something to be scorned or not admired. I'm not saying you do that all of your life, but you do that on a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock before you go to sleep. What else are you going to do, so to speak? And so that's okay for us to talk about and enjoy. At least we're trying to flesh
is
that
it
out.
okay to talk about?
I think it's okay. All right. Okay. And speaking of which, I mean, an upcoming show is a show, well, I should say the next show really, is a discussion of who is the next Humphrey Bogart. So if you tune in to 103.9 FM Saturday night, next Saturday at midnight, you're going to hear us discuss this icon, Humphrey Bogart, which I hope everyone knows who he is. He was, Sure. Dave has a 15-year-old son. I'm not sure if he knows who he is. Certainly my 2-year-old and 5-year-olds don't know who he is today. But I guarantee you, if you show someone or a silhouette of someone wearing a fedora, smoking a cigarette, which was certainly timely for this day and age, and wearing the raincoat,
that's bogey.
They're at least going to recognize that image. And his last movie was 1956. That's more than 50, let's say with my math, 56 years ago. Am I wrong?
Right.
And the characters that he created were iconic for the day. He created the gangster, which was something brand new back in the 30s, and he started acting as a gangster in the 30s. So it may seem like something common to us today, but he created that type of character from the beginning, from the inception. So the question is there anyone that is as iconic or created as many iconic characters as Bogey to this day? I suggest there might be a few. I don't know. Dave, do you have any ideas?
Well, I mean, first of all, let me just say, I mean, they broke the mold with Humphrey Bogart. There is, to try to compare somebody to Bogey today, I think it's almost impossible. We're going to have fun doing it.
Yes.
But, with that said, I think he was definitely a one-of-a-kind, a trendsetter, as you mentioned, Doug, and an icon that, again, for most people, I think today still carries some weight.
But let me interrupt you for a minute before we may give away too much of the house, if you will, or what's that saying? But give away too much at this point. I would encourage anyone listening to the program now. We haven't performed the program yet. We haven't talked about it yet. Why don't you send us an email telling us who you think might be the new Humphrey Bogart and we have a website, old, new, again, at AOL.com. So send us a note in between this week of listening to the program, and maybe we'll be able to chime in on your comments.
I think it's a good point you bring up, is really to try to get the listeners involved, because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great ride, and however they want to contribute, either through an email. I know we're going to get Facebook up and running shortly, and hopefully followed by Twitter as well. So it's going to be a great opportunity for them to get involved and really shape the fun that we're going to have.
And we're going to have our own website, and the website, which we'll announce next week as we up and running, is going to have a blog on it, a running blog. Is going to have a discussion off of the radio show, a little printout discussion of the topic that's upcoming, and of course of past topics. You'll be able to listen on the podcast. Tune into LongIslandNews.com. You can get the podcast live, or the broadcast live, and you can listen to the podcast while you're at work if you feel like it.
Okay, so Doug, homework for people.
Yes.
If you haven't...
Get a pen and piece of paper, quick.
Get ready. If you haven't seen a Humphrey Bogart movie and you want to pop one in, Netflix or however you're watching movies these days, let's give 2 or 3 classic Bogart movies.
Well, I mean, the first and foremost and only one, if you had to watch just one that I would suggest, clearly is Casablanca. There's no doubt.
Sure.
I think there's at least 15 quotes that are in that movie that are still used to this day.
Yes.
And that might be a nice trivia question for everyone to
oh, yes, it might.
We'll go on
this could be
show.
A pretty good show, actually.
Other than that, I would suggest The African Queen, which I believe you won an Oscar for. That certainly would be great.
Maltese Falcon.
Maltese Falcon as the classic detective. Dark Passage as
Right.
a fugitive type character with Lauren Bacall. So there's a few right there to keep you busy between
Okay,
now and then.
so go watch. Think about who, if anyone, today, whatever age that actor may be, you think most represents the spirit of Humphrey Bogart today.
Right, and to define the spirit in some way would be creating iconic characters that are different from each other, that you wouldn't recognize or think that this same actor is performing the same parts, and maybe trend-setting, if you want to call it that, in some way. Certainly, he was very well-rounded, and he's a lot of fun. And hopefully this show will be fun for you and I, and hopefully maybe we'll have some listeners that'll enjoy. Thank you for listening. We certainly appreciate it. My name is Douglas Viviani. We will be here with David Cohen every Saturday night at midnight on Everything Old is New Again. Feel free to tune in, of course, and feel free to communicate with us as we've discussed, and we would be happy to present on air, maybe even your name if you like that, with some comments, some questions you may
We're
have
giving
about
our
the topic.
names. You could at least give your name, I think.
Come join the fun.
We'll see you next week.